Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Spider-Man 2099 from the Build-A-Figure Hobgoblin wave. So first up, something to look for with this figure is actually how it's packaged. As you can see, I mean, you might have already seen some pictures about this and whatnot, but as you can see, the legs can be a little bit warped in there. Now, when I open this up, they might be perfectly fine, or they might stay, a little bent there. You can see that that one is quite warped around there. That one's alright, it's just a little bent at the knee, but they're often bent at the knee. So, might be okay, might not be okay, we'll see. Obviously, whenever you do have a leg that's really warped, you're still going to be able to stand the figure up because you've got ankle pivot, so you can still get a straight stance, and obviously they'll still look good, in other stances too, but you just got to be careful if you're looking around. But this particular figure, it's just a problem with the way it's packaged. It just shouldn't be like that, really. I guess the thigh is supposed to be turned or something so that there's a bend in the leg, but it's just for some reason they've made it so that it actually turns there, which is really stupid. Don't know why they did it, but there you go. But on the side of the box, you just get Spider-Man. On the back, you get a picture right here of one that doesn't have bent legs, and then you get a little bio right there. And then down here we have everyone else in the wave and the Build-A-Figure. So I'll be getting through each one of these day after day. I've already done Daredevil, so tune in tomorrow to see the Spider-Man figure. So first out of the box here we have the right arm and the sword for Hobgoblin. If you want to check that video out, I'll be getting that Build-A-Figure review up once I've done everything else in the wave. And here is Spider-Man 2099 himself out of packaging, and I really do like this figure. It's one of my favourite Spider-Man suits, but this figure does have its limitations just basically from how it was packaged. As you can see, if you get him in a more of a dynamic pose rather than just standing up, he looks just fine. And if I straighten him out here, you can see that the legs are pretty warped right there. You can see that this one comes down, then it bends in. This one is bent a little bit down there, and also it's bent at the knee a little bit. But you can really see the damage when you actually bend the knees at the upper portion right here. You can see that it's way out because it's pushing this out, as you can see. So you shouldn't have that much wiggle room really inside that joint. It's not anything bad, it's not going to fall out or anything like that. Ratchet's perfectly fine. It's just the way it's been packaged has just put a load of pressure on these lower leg joints that I don't know, it doesn't stop him from standing. You can stand perfectly fine. As you can see, the feet both come level, so it's not like one's shorter than the other now because of it being bent or anything. So he can stand fine, and it doesn't change anything like that. So on a shelf, especially from a distance, he will still look just as good as if he was packaged well. The only problem is obviously that is warped if you have it, and it's just one of those things that's in the back of your mind that the figure could be a little bit better. And obviously, if you're paying for a figure, you're paying for it to be exactly how it's supposed to be. So the fact that this is on all of them annoys me, because obviously it means that they haven't really done any proper testing since they took out the packaging. They haven't took a finished product, took out the packaging, and hang on a second, this leg is warped. So really annoying. It happens on pretty much 90% of pictures and whatnot that I've seen of them. You might find some that are good, so if you can look for them in stores. But if you're getting them online, just remember they might be warped. And this isn't like super bad. Like I said, you can still stand and everything fine. So you might get one that's worse than this, but this might be the worst that you've seen. I don't really know. So moving on, as for accessories, we have this piece of webbing. It's nice, it's just a nice translucent piece. It's got loads of moulded in detail there and whatnot, and it simply just pegs into his back using that little peg right there, and there we go. And it just basically sits on his back like so. So from pictures and whatnot like that, I thought that it was maybe going to be two pieces that you could like move out and be like under his arms, so that the more you open his arms up, maybe you could bring him out or something like that. But it is just the one piece hanging out the back, and I've just noticed that my particular figure has just like a little bit of, I don't know, glue or something there. It does actually scratch off, so I can go ahead and just take a craft knife and just scrape that off a little bit there, so that's not a problem. But overall, this figure is really nice. As you can see, he is all just this really nice metallic deep blue, kind of has a bit of a purpleness to it, really nice. And then you've got the painted red detail over here, and it's all done very cleanly. There's none of it where there's too much blue coming through. If you move this joint right here, as you can see, the paint goes all the way through. If we move the ab crunch, you can see it carries on up a little bit further, and obviously there's nothing on the back, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, overall, really nice paintwork. If we take a look at that face, that is just an absolutely perfect head sculpt. Absolutely everything that I would want in a 2099 head sculpt there. Looks good, feels good. You got the nice molded detail in there underneath, for the nose and the chin and everything to make it look like there is actually someone in that mask. Very cool. So on the right here we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, and obviously as you can see this guy does stand a little bit taller, but you can see that it takes a lot of kind of inspiration from this mold. Originally I thought it was just going to be this mold, but obviously this has all the texture in there and whatnot, whereas this is all clean. But they haven't just removed texture. They, as you can see, the arms are a little bit bigger there, and the forearms are a different size, and everything. It is more of that kind of comic book kind of look rather than a movie accurate kind of look. So I like that they haven't just pretty much reused this mold, but also you can see that because things are a bit bigger, we don't have as big gaps around the hip area as we do with this guy, which I like a lot, and obviously this guy stands a bit taller too, so it's not exactly the same as this, if that's what you were wondering. You can see that, very different moulding and whatnot up here and stuff like that, which I like, because then you don't have this butterfly joint just kind of sticking out at the top. But yeah, so it's very similar, and it takes a lot of, the articulation style and everything from this figure, but it is not exactly the same as this figure. It's not exactly the same at all. So with articulation in mind, let's take a look at that then, shall we? So the head moves up and down a lot. We have left and right movement, and it also wiggles a little bit. We have a butterfly joint here at the shoulder. The shoulders also move out this much, and they go full 360 degrees rotation around. We have a rotation here at the bicep, double jointed elbows. The wrists move around and also move in and out. And I do actually like this open hand. It looks very cool. I would have liked some fists. I think it would have been great to have had some extra pieces in here, especially with Iron Fist coming with so many fists in the All-Father wave. I think it would be nice to have gotten some extra stuff, especially as this Spider-Man right here did, and obviously he still came with Build-A-Figure parts and whatnot, so it would have been nice to have some fists. I don't care about a flipping hand with this Spider-Man, but I think fists would have looked good on this guy. But nonetheless, great ab crunch there. We have a waist swivel. We have the hips that move out this much. Would have been nice to have gotten full range of motion, and with a gap still that large, it would have been nice and would have been easy, I think, to have gotten more articulation from that. So not really sure why they don't give it to us. It doesn't move back too far, but it moves forward really well. Great for those wall crawling kind of poses. We have an upper thigh swivel. We have double jointed knees. We don't have the boot cut like that Spider-Man did, but we do get the feet that go up and down, and we have ankle pivot, and it also has peg holes in the bottom of the feet. And the figure stands just over 6.5 inches tall, so he is standard Marvel Legends size, as you can see here, same size as Daredevil. Overall, I think the figure is absolutely fantastic. It's just been let down by the way it's been packaged, and it kind of damages the figure a little bit, but as you can see, he stands perfectly fine. Yeah, they're a little bit warped, but it's nothing too crazy. I've seen figures with worse warped features than that, but it's still not nice that it's not 100% how it should be, and obviously you're paying for the price of how it should be. But overall, if you enjoyed the comics, and if you enjoyed the games such as Shattered Dimensions, then you really are going to love this guy. I think that he's metallic enough, but not too metallic and shiny. He actually appears more metallic and shiny on the camera, I think, than how he looks to me. But an absolutely fantastic Spider-Man figure, no doubt. And if you want the Build-A-Figure, then obviously you're going to have to get him. But I definitely recommend him. Check him out in the store if you can, so that you can find one with less warped out legs, and you should be good to go. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click on that like button, and if you want to see pictures of this guy and anything else from my collection, go ahead and check out my Instagram and Twitter. It's Homerino123 for both, and links will be in the description below. I actually took a picture of this guy, and I've put it up on Instagram if you want to check that out, of him in kind of like a beaten up kind of pose, holding his stomach, and it shows how warped the legs are. Actually lends itself to a kind of beaten up, weak kind of pose like that. So if you want to see anyone else from the wave, go ahead and stay tuned to the channel and subscribe. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing these videos up every single day, and I've already done Daredevil. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.